Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Aries. You are now going again to the new moon. You had back then Libra sun giving the light to Aries full moon, and that's a very specific moment, right? In your life, you have been in the most extroverted position of your life in the opposite sign, which is Libra, and the message was bring all your attention into shining a light upon your self-worth. And so you recognize here this very special moment. And now we're going back to the new moon. 6 months, you will go to the left, you will go more introverted. And the first reading after the full moon is always the most difficult one. It's kind of like recognizing, okay, I'm going back to myself, right? And so understand, right, that this can be a very difficult transition. So the sun in Scorpio is giving the light to the Emperor, which is the fourth major arcana, and as such I place it to this side. And then we have the 13th major arcana that is pointing at the left. And so it is kind of like clear now you're going back, right? And Scorpio is the first sign that's saying, well, now you're gonna go through this transition again, right? Letting go more and more. And now it's kind of like gentle, but because of the sun being in Scorpio, the transition is kind of like bam, right? You have to let go, right? Like this last leaf that is hanging here on the tree. So the 13, when we calculate together, we get a 4. So you have a 4-4 portal. And a 4-4 portal means 2 times the 4 is creativity in the heart, in the 4 elements, but also in your stability. So watch and observe how that makes you feel. Now, when we actually see that the sun here, always the extroverted energy, that we can go through a transformation, right? It's not an introverted transformation, it's an extroverted transformation, because the sun is the light and everybody can see what's going on, right, with your personality. It's sometimes not easy to go through that, particularly because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto in the tarot is the judgment, is the call, there is a calling, and it's actually noticeable to all. It's not an inner process, but it can be an inner process as well. Now the moon in your sign, right, is of course your subconscious, are your feelings, how do you feel right now, with the sun giving you this important message, right? And you see that the moon is all about the longing, is all about the desire to evolve, right? We look up and we're like, what is this thing up there in the sky? Now you are ruled by Mars, and Mars is of course the warrior, is that we push forward, is that we fight for things, and Mars in the tarot is the tower. So sometimes we have to truly let go of things so that we can begin new, and this is what Scorpio is bringing you anyway. So just understand the combination here today. Now death in your deck looks like this, right? And you see that sometimes death doesn't mean only a transformation. Though every 7 years we get a new body, death sometimes means letting go of that body. And so here in this 4-4 message, but also I can literally, the 13 and the 4 create a 17. The 17 is the star, and the biggest transformation this year is that Pluto is going for 20 years into Aquarius, the 17, the star, right? And that the judgment is bringing us that information to all. But you as a cardinal sign is going to be relieved, because we had Pluto for 15 years in Capricorn, and that was intense for all the cardinal signs. So the 17 turns into an 8, so you can create a 4-4 portal, or you can create then an 8. So however you feel like combining the numbers here. The yoga position for Scorpio is I let go of my head, of my thinking. I put my feet above my head and I go intuitive. And for you, it's the meditation. Recognize meditation is really good for you because you are the brain and Scorpio are the sexual organs. And sometimes that creates, of course, la petite mort, the little death, and you chasing that. Right? You're a little bit that kind of personality that runs after the sexual energy because you love to be in that sexual energy. You're, as a court card, are the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is, of course, the first zodiac sign, and in that connected with the first house of self and identity. Also, Aries is the fighter. Through Mars, he fights, she fights, and they fight for good things, right? At first, but then sometimes they can also get stuck in thinking, well, that fight that I thought was good is maybe not so good because it got me stuck in duality. Is your birthday between March 12th and April 9th, then is she your court card. If your birthday is before or after, please look in the description below. I have listed all of the cards there. So your last full moon, right? I hope you actually enjoyed that day and really celebrated your day. And most important is that I look if there is a reoccurring card, and I see one that is wanting to talk to you again. And as such, we can begin the reading. So I begin with the court card because the court card is that human body that we decided to take on, and you get the King of Swords. Now this is Aquarius, and we know that Pluto is going into Aquarius on the 19th of November, so you see already that a new type of thinking is coming to you. The 11th court card and the 11th house is a new community and new technology is coming to us, and so you get 3 times the 1 here. 3 times the 1 is see the empowerment in the 3rd chakra with that one thought, with that one and only energy that we know is always residing deep within us. So I want to see what is actually Aquarius wanting to tell you, and the 8 of Cups is coming up here, and that's Saturn in Pisces. So this new type of thinking makes you want to go further, and we see here the half moon on the left, and on the left it means it's waning, and the moon is waning again, right? So you were in the full moon and now it's going back to the new moon. That means the next 6 months the moon is always going to be less and less and less lit by the sun. So understand that sometimes we need to leave something that's good, something that's maybe really good, but you know deep down the longing and the seeking of here the moon, right? That's what the moon does to us when the moon is in our sign, is bringing us forward into a new consciousness. And here the 8 of Cups, where we know that's Saturn in Pisces. Saturn is the world. The whole world realizes it's necessary to move on, to find now deep within your own self, because we see 8 dots here and we see everywhere couples except here the ladybird. She is alone, and so she is the 9. She is the completion. So wherever you look, right, there are couples, and so these are 4 couples, and so we have the 8, we have the 8 dots, but she herself is the 9, and she is going to her own emotional completion. And so the 3 times 1 and the 8 is a beautiful sign for you to know that this is what's happening right now to you, right? Then I want to see what is coming from the Mother Piece Tarot, and the Ace of Discs to the left is coming. And the Ace of Discs is this new beginning that you understand in this material world you need to take. And so the 8 and the 1 is actually the 9. and that 9 is the completion. That's why you're going. And I can see here, of course, a 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 times the 1, and we leave the 8, or then the 9 that is hidden inside, right? And you understand that now your heart is involved as well. 4 times the 1, that's you, the Emperor. That's you understanding, I gotta go and find really who I am and what this world has to offer to me. Good. Then we look at the Emperor, and the Emperor is getting, as the first card here, the Queen of Cups. Now, Cancer is your opposite sign. Now, Cancer is also cardinal sign in the element water. Your cardinal sign in the element of fire, right? And so what's beautiful here, you as the Queen of Wands and here the Queen of Cups, it's the element water, emotional support that maybe this woman is bringing you, or you yourself find emotional support deep within you. And so the 4 and the 1 creates a 5 here, and the 5 is the 5 senses, and the Hierophant, the inner teacher, is speaking and letting you know, overcome the 5 senses, right, and come into the 6th sense. Because here we see she is really this most kind, most generous personality in her emotions, and as such she is a very valid friend to you. What is she saying to you? And she's saying the Hanged Man is coming. So what's really interesting here, the Hanged Man is Neptune. Neptune is connected here, of course, with Pisces, is ruling Pisces, but this is Saturn in Pisces. Nevertheless, Pisces is actually that emotional search that we're looking for, that one love. And I think you need to let go of something. You need to hang yourself upside down, because that's what the Hanged Man is bringing to us. And the 12 turns into a 3, and so the 4 and the 3 creates a 7. The 7 is the emotional intelligence, the 7th chakra, where the one and only consciousness resides, right? And so you see that the 7 is talking to you, the 7, and the 4 is an 11. And so here again you have an 11, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4 times the 1, and now you have 6 times the 1. The third eye is opening up, right? The third eye is the one place where we see a higher consciousness. What is, of course, the Hanged Man bringing to you? And I have a new deck from Carolyn Miss. These are the archetypes, and the word God is coming up. And God has, as a light attribute to you, the benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. As a shadow side, we understand here despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. And so you got to let go of that, right? If you use, and we all have the positive and the negative side of the archetypes in us. We just need to integrate them and then come into a centered beingness, and that's always the one, right? The one combines duality and brings duality together, and so that's where the 3 is then a very powerful number, right? And so here God is telling you, observe how you sometimes think you are God, because the 12 is the pre-stage to Scorpio. It's kind of like, I am almost enlightened, I am letting go. And so you see that the 12 and then the 13, again the 3 and the 4 is the 7, is the higher consciousness that we can achieve right deep within us. And so God is coming and telling you, let go, really let go, and understand that the 7 here is God, is where God will come to you, right? And so a very beautiful message is coming here from the Queen of Cups, and as such we of course understand that she is very important to you. Then what is Scorpio saying? We get the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is bringing you the intuition. And in that intuition, you know that what you just witnessed, right, that you just witnessed here, the Hanged Man, and out of the Hanged Man comes the archetype God, right? Sometimes we think we are God in our intuition. We think we can do things that others cannot do. And she is, of course, the one that is letting you know, if you heal yourself, the intuition will become stronger. And intuition is always something that we need to respect, because the 4 and the 2 is a 6, and that's the self-love that appears through the 6. What is, of course, the High Priestess saying? She is bringing you the 7 of Pentacles, which is Moon in Taurus. And this is, of course, the Lord of Success Unfulfilled. So deep within you, you are feeling that something didn't work out the way you thought it should work out, right? Because what's interesting here is that the moon is your subconscious, and in your subconscious with Taurus is the spiritual teacher, but also the finances and the banks. And for some reason you feel like you failed. Now here we see, of course, the 4 and the 2 is the 6. The 6 and the 4 here with you is the 10, and the 10 and the 7 is the 17. That's Aquarius, and Pluto is going to go on the 19th of November into Aquarius. So you get a sign here. You understand that you need to observe the money, you need to observe your intuition, and you need to heal so that you can be ready for what's coming. But here the 2 and the 7 is the 9, and the 9 is the completion. Is that completion that you seeking, the 9 that you are here, right, by walking away and finding the partner that is right for you. And in the end, it's you are your own partner, you are the person that you're looking for. And so understand that. Now out of the 17 we get, of course, the 8, and the 8 is again the 8 that came here through the 8 of Cups, walking away from something that is good or seems good, but you need to walk away because there is something better coming. So observe and watch what's coming here, and we are gonna look into the last card, which is the Mother Peace Tarot. We get the 9 of Cups to the right, and the 9 of Cups to the right is pointing, of course, now to the Queen of Cups. Now the 9 of Cups is saying that's Jupiter in Pisces, you had Saturn in Pisces. Now you walked away and you did the healing, and now the 9 of Cups are coming, and you see all these women here bathing, doing yoga at the spring, and it's kind of like you did the right thing. You did walk away, maybe from this King of Swords, maybe from this type of thinking, right, that didn't move you enough, right, that didn't help you. And you did have the Ace of Pentacles, which is the one card that came up last time as well. And so for this new beginning, you realize that the 9 and the 8 of Cups is the 17 again. You are gonna shed, like so many of us now, this whole notion that here the Ace of Cups and of course the 7 of Pentacles are 8 Pentacles. So 8 Pentacles, right, and 8 Cups. It's like an 8-8 portal that is letting you know things are gonna shift when Pluto is gonna go into Aquarius, into the number 17. And in the 17 we have the 10, that's Jupiter, that's the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the 7, and the 7, that is always the emotional intelligence. The 7 is then also the crown chakra that we understand that we can achieve, and that's where God is appearing to you, right? And so observe that and watch that. And then of course we want to calculate the 17 together. Then we get a single digit number. That's the goal in life, that we become simplistic, right? Many digit numbers, it's kind of like confusing. We're like, oh my God, so many numbers, right, together, but they tell a story. So when we condense it to a single digit number, it's kind of like a clarity comes to you, and the 8 is that clarity that is coming here to you. So a very beautiful story that is coming here to you, right? We had the 12 that came out here of the Cancer, Queen of Cups energy, right? And so the 12 plus the 4 is the 16. That's the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man falls down. And in that fall, you're gonna recognize that God is coming to you, and that you need to understand how to work with God, right? And so the 16 here creates a 7. Then we have the 2, and the 7 is the 9, and then we have a 9-9 portal here to this happiness. Let go of the things that you cannot change anymore because they're the past. Focus on the now and enjoy the now, right? And come into the 9-9 portal. And of course here the 7 and the 4 is the 11. So again, recognize 6 times the 1, it's the third eye that is appearing, and you are recognizing the healing in there. Then we're looking at the Tower, and the Tower is bringing you the bee. Now the bee is such a beautiful animal, we all know, and I put that inside of your major arcana. The bee has created one of the most beautiful structures ever. Here the hexagram, and in that hexagram we recognize that there lies strength in the community. And Pluto in Aquarius is all about community. What kind of community are you falling into, right? And so you see here the 16, which is then, when we calculate together, the 7, and this one bee. One bee, one consciousness, but this one consciousness has all the other consciousness deep within it, right? She works not for herself, she works for all. And so I want to read to you a little bit out of this card. She's earnest, she's hardworking, and she's democratic. The bee personality is a delight to be around, especially when there is a team project on the horizon. Bees love to work steadily and thoughtfully until the final task is complete. They are sensitive creatures, aware of many subtleties at once. Since they're artists at heart, they usually add creative details to the overall vision. For the most part, they have bustling, joyous personalities until they are too tired from all the work. Then they grip and then sting. So, don't sting. Let go. Fall into this buzzing energy of the bee, and know that this is important, right? That you see that she is talking to you. What is coming through your deck? The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is the career, is working yourself up the ladder, the social ladder, the working ladder, and seeing that then here the 10 and the bee is the 5th card here in the air signs. So it's very interesting. It's kind of like connected here with the King of Swords, right? The Aquarian energy. So the 10 and the 5 is the 15, and that's Capricorn. Pluto was 15 years in Capricorn, and so I think we're gonna learn to work in a different way, because Capricorn is bringing you the Page of Wands, and that's you. Pluto getting out of Capricorn is bringing a new way of work. The Pages of Wands are here to take new actions. This is of course you, but also Leo and Sagittarius, all 3 fire signs. And so there is a new way of working, a new way of taking actions, right? Of doing things in a way that we can still socially climb, but do not need to work so hard that we then get so tired that we sting someone and then die from it. Because the bee, when it stings someone, it's its last resource, right? Because it knows it will die. And so here comes the 3 with the 15, we get the 18. In your subconscious, you know deeply, clearly how to work now the social ladder or the financial ladder up, and work like the young generation is showing it to us. Then of course I want to see what is bringing the Mother Peace Tarot, and the Eight of Cups are coming up again. And it's that you left what you had to leave, you left what was good, right? And you left and you arrive now like an octopus into a state of consciousness that knows, well, when I know that I have been doing too much and I'm not getting recognized in all of it, that I have to let go whatever I have to let go, because the 16 is the 7, right? And so when you see that here we had the 18, the subconscious, the moon, the 18 plus the 7 is the 25, and the 25, we have the 20 in it, the last judgment, and the 5, which is again the bee, and the 5 is also the Hierophant. The 5 is working with the 5 senses, but not killing yourself or killing others, right? And so you see here the 8, and of course here the 18, right? And the 7 is the 25. The 25 plus the 8 is the 33. The 33 is the master. When you get that sign of mastery, right, which is here in all 3 young generations of the wands, the 3 is letting you know that you have learned what it takes to be a master, what it takes to be an emperor. And in that letting go, you learned that, you understood that, right? The 33 is an important sign for you that now mastery is coming by going consciously back within, by going consciously deep within, and knowing that when you walk away towards yourself, and in that self the success is there. The success doesn't lie in the partner, it doesn't lie in holding on to a partner and being dependent on. No, you're always independent, right? You always know that you find in here the 15, the 6, right? The 6, the self-love, and then you move on again. Life is constantly letting us know that we need to move on, and so the message is very clear, right? The 33 has arrived, and the 33 is kind of our spine, right? Our spine has 33 vertebrae, and that's where the 33 degrees come from. And in the spine you see that here that one clear thought is coming to you. It's kind of like where the clarity will reach up, right, to you always, right? These wands and the swords, as you can see, they look like masculine energies, right? Meanwhile, the earth, it's a coin, it's round, right? You see that here with the ace of coin, right? And also the cups, they are round, right? That's the feminine. And so you understand very clearly that you had here an 8-8 portal plus the 9, right? So see how you understand that here the 8-8, I leave, of course, right? But here we had the 8 and the 9, that was the 17, and the 8 is the 25, and the 25 again is the 7. Your emotional intelligence knows when to move on, knows when it's needing to find itself, and then it has all the cups it needs, all the most beautiful cups it has here, and you are happy and joyous and knowing that the journey towards yourself has started. So I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Sagittarius. That's the 14. The 14, of course, turns into a 5 when we calculate it together. So the inner knowledge, or the 5 senses again are coming. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.